Hey guys, in today's video, I wanted to go over the recent updates that have came out regarding the Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 ports that are coming to the PlayStation consoles. But before we get into that, I just wanted to thank all of you for the love and support shown on my last video. It was, I think, a rather good commentary. We got through all of the topics rather quickly, and it is the first time I've seen genuine curiosity and cautious optimism coming from the community, from a lot of people leaving different comments regarding zombies and multiplayer and campaign. So it's good to see this cautious, optimistic enthusiasm return to the community just based off a port of games that are over 10 to 15 years old. It's truly remarkable to see. But without wasting any more time, let's just get right into the updates. Now, when I made my video yesterday, it was done in the middle of the night, and a lot of updates came out the following morning that I could not add into the video. But there were people on jailbroken PS4s that were able to actually get in the PlayStation backend and download the ports. Now, they weren't actually able to get in because they needed the license to actually load the game, but there is a physical copy of Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 on the back end, which all but confirms that these games actually do exist on the next-gen consoles. It's 100% confirmed at this point. Now, just because the jailbroken versions were the only ones to get downloaded, that doesn't mean that PS5 is not getting them, because if we remember correctly, the file sizes themselves were found out to be from the PS5 version, Black Ops 2 being 30 gigabytes and Black Ops 1 being around 22 to 23. Those file sizes were found based off the PS5 version and not the PS4. The next update I have pertains to some comments left in yesterday's video, because I do remember some commenters discussing the trophy sizes and the trophy releases, and there is going to be the full list of trophies for each game on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. So we do have the full list of trophies, yes, that includes multiplayer and zombies, coming to both platforms. That is confirmed. One detail I don't see being covered a lot is the fact that there are the different geographical versions for the game, and what I mean by that is that there's a Japanese version, there's a European version, and each one of these versions varies in file size, and I'm not sure if that has to do with a language pack, I'm not sure what that has to do with, but at the end of the day, that is confirmed as well, that we are getting different versions based upon different geographical regions. We are getting those releases as well. As a community, all we can do right now is continue to speculate on how this is going to go down until Activision actually comes out and confirms something themselves. But when you actually think about it, a lot of the topic of conversation, whether it be in my video or on X or in other people's videos, the most common topic was where the port was actually coming from. Was it going to be coming from the PC version, or was it going to be coming from the PS3 version? Now, a lot of people and a lot of sources have said that it is going to be a port from the PS3. Let's just say, for the sake of the video, that's true, because both versions have hackers, they have glitches, they have problems. So let's just say they are going to port it from the PS3. I do believe there's also an important distinction that has not been made in a lot of people's videos and in a lot of people's threads, and that is there is a huge distinction, I think, fundamentally between a game being backwards compatible and a game being ported to a new-gen console. I do believe these are two totally different things, and a lot of people are comparing it like it's apples to apples when it's actually apples to oranges. And the reason I say that is because the PS5 nor the PS4 can emulate the PS3. And whenever people are saying that you can still play PS3 games on the new-gen consoles, although you're right, that is coming from a cloud streaming service, which is something that is totally different from backwards compatibility. You need to pay for that through PlayStation Plus, I believe, which is a subscription service. So even if they are going to port it from the PS3 version, the fact that the PS5 nor the PS4 can emulate PS3, and whether it's the cloud streaming service that permits PS3 games to be played on the new-gen consoles, or it's the backwards compatibility process that allows those Xbox 360 titles to be played on Xbox One and Xbox Series X, I do believe a port is fundamentally different because you actually have to tailor the code to the current hardware. It does seem like Xbox backwards compatible games, as well as the PS3 games that you can stream through the cloud service using your PlayStation Plus membership, are fundamentally different than a port. It does seem like that is the case. I am not well versed when it comes to code or when it comes to implementing these things on next gen consoles, and so if somebody does have some more experience than me or is a little bit more well versed in coding and how a port would actually need to be implemented into the next gen consoles, please leave a comment down below on if it is possible to take the port from the PS3 version and add it into the next gen consoles while limiting the amount of hackers that can be in the game, because I do feel like that is within the range of Activision's possibilities. And the fact that we do have confirmation that the PS5 nor the PS4 can emulate the PS3, that is huge news considering that Xbox Series X and S can do that to the 360. And this is something that is totally different than the cloud streaming service. And so anybody with a little bit more information and insight on how these things actually work, because I do play on PC the majority of the time. I have not been on PlayStation for a while. I've not been on Xbox for a while, so I would like to know how these things work and how it pertains to the actual release of the ports. I am not saying they rewrote the game or rewrote the code into being an official remaster or an official re release. I am just curious to know, even if they didn't touch the code, could they actually implement, let's say, dedicated servers with no hacks in theater system? Could that actually happen with them porting from the PS3 version? Because it does not seem like the PC version is the one that they're using. And if that is the case, could they limit those obstacles, even when it comes to the progression glitch? I remember somebody saying that it wasn't Call of Duty that was responsible for the glitch, it was the PlayStation console itself that you couldn't progress through. And I remember somebody even said that they were using a mod menu to combat this. When that does happen, when this port does happen, there has to be a way to limit this stuff. It is not going to be like the Xbox backwards compatibility from 2017 when we just, came home and loaded up Black Ops 2 in 2017. I do feel like this is taking some time, and not so much that it's taking time away from Modern Warfare 4, but I almost am willing to think that Activision was going to give us a remaster, and when it came down to actually putting the pen on paper, they realized logistically it wouldn't make sense. Financially, it would hurt their current title. And it's just a burden on the developers that are already overworked. Guys, let's not forget, Vanguard Zombies was not updated for months. And that was a current gen title. That's a modern title that they did not have enough hands on deck to update during its life cycle. And so, if the devs are that much overworked during Cold War and Vanguard, they are not going to build us a remaster from the ground up. They're just going to take the laziest routes possible, which is kind of concerning, but that is Activision at the end of the day. So I'm almost willing to bet that they were going to give us a remaster. They were really thinking about it, but when push came to shove, when the pen came to hit the paper, the logistics didn't make sense. The budget probably didn't make sense. It didn't make sense financially for their current game, and so they said, let's just throw the old gen players a bone, and if people on PS5 want to jump in with them or jump in on their own servers, let's try and get the cash cow over there as well. So they've planted one cash cow on PS4, two cash cows on PS5, and that is going to be their competition model for GTA 6. And people will buy this. It just depends on how the structure is going to be implemented. Is it going to be a unoptimized hacking fuckfest, or is it going to be a enhanced, re-released version of the classic Black Ops experience? That's where I think everybody is at right now, personally. Everybody is just wondering, how is this actually going to go down? What is this going to look like when they actually hit the store? Will PS5 have their own separate servers? Will PS5 have their own dedicated servers with an FOV slider and, 4K graphics with 120 hertz and no hackers and no modders and no theater mode exploits? It is something that people are wondering. Now that we've gotten the confirmed information out of the way and we can all speculate, I do think this is good for the community. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this is the first time where I've seen true enthusiasm for what is to come. And I've seen people, friendly banter in the comments, good debates. I like this stuff. This is something that we should be constantly talking about, how to make the franchise better. Because constantly going through this motion of re-releasing the same shit over and over and over again, you gotta give the people what they want. You gotta give the people what they want. And from every comment, whether they like this idea or not, it shows that they have some vested interest in this. And so, if you are enjoying the content, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the content. Peace.